Hi there. Today we're taking Amtrak's premium service, the Acela, in first class between New York City and Philadelphia. We'll be leaving from the Moynihan train station in New York and going to the 30th Street station in Philadelphia. Because we're in first class, we should be able to access the Metropolitan Lounge at the Moynihan train hall, however it appears to be closed. So we use the ticketed seating area instead, which is downstairs. We eventually found out that the lounge was closed because all the staff were having to handle rebookings because there'd been a derailment south of Philadelphia. Anyway, the lounge eventually opened up again, and here we are. Again with the magnificent view across the forecourt of the Moynihan train hall. But here you can see the queue forming as staff try to get everyone rebooked or alternate arrangements to get south from New York, or south from Philly, should I say. So the derailment is south of Philly and should not affect our trip. It's great if you have access to the Metropolitan Lounge because food and drink is included in the price of your first class or sleeper ticket. And it's an excellent place to chill out, have a cup of coffee before the train leaves. We'll just have a small snack here because we're going to have our breakfast on the train. We're in first class, which also includes a hot meal. It's really unfortunate when we have a derailment that affects the Amtrak trains, but can't really be helped, I guess. Alright, enough of the lounge. Time to board the Acela Express, first class, to Philly. Seats are pre-assigned on the Acela, and I've picked a single seat facing forward. These seats really are luxurious, plenty of room, and big leather seats, easy to stretch out, nice big fold-down table, power sockets or outlets to power a couple of devices. Note though that they are on the wall. There are a number of different seat configurations, 4 ways where 4 people can sit together facing each other, 2 ways, single seats, and the single seats are reversible so you can rotate them to face the direction the train is going. As I said before, breakfast is included, so let's see what we have for breakfast. Service is definitely prompt. We received the menu before we even took off from the station. There's hardly anyone on board in first class. I believe that's probably because the train's only going as far as Philadelphia. We spend a couple of minutes crossing under the Hudson and then are into New Jersey and heading south. It was very industrial at first, and we're also crossing the Meadowlands, which is a nature preserve, on our way to our first stop, which is Newark Penn Station. Crossing the old iron bridges here in New Jersey. It's a little bit rough. As you can see, a little bit of a drinking problem here. Can't get it into my glass, but anyway, a little rough. The area of New Jersey immediately west of New York is very industrial, and frankly quite ugly. There's not much to see here, just industrial landscapes. There is the Meadowlands, but most of the area is just factories and power plants. It's a bit of a shame really, because New Jersey's beautiful when you get a little further west.
Attention passengers, we are now approaching Newark Penn Station. Again, we are now approaching Newark Penn Station, Newark, New Jersey.
I ordered the Eggs Benedict, I think it is. Unfortunately, it's some sort of factory-produced gooey something. Not very edible. So we start picking up speed and travel southwest through New Jersey down towards Philly. This is a relatively good stretch of track, and the Acela can really pick up some speed here.
Again, passengers, this station stop is Metro Park, New Jersey. Again, this station stop is Metro Park, New Jersey.
So around 12 cheese flakes.
This really is the fastest stretch for the Acela, I think, on the whole route from Boston to Washington. The track is good and we really fly along here.
Cocktail napkins. 40 glasses.
The track condition seems to have improved as well, so let's go take a look around. This first class carriage is 2+1 seating. We have some 4-seaters and these individual seats reverse so that you can actually face them to the direction of the train, as I mentioned before. There's a restroom at the end of the carriage. So time for a loo review. Don't forget to lock the door. Everything is clean and tidy, and the staff do a really good job of keeping everything organised. Carriage is a little bit bumpy at 130 miles an hour, but not too bad. We maintain this speed most of the way to Philly. Slow down as we get into Philly, but generally around 125 to 135 miles per hour. Then as we approach Philly, we slow down a little, as you can see. So station to station, it takes around an hour to get from New York to Philly. That is from city centre to city centre, or almost 30th Street Station. And you are connected to public transport in both cities. Time to disembark in Philadelphia. Usually the train would continue on to Washington DC, but because of the earlier derailment, we're only going as far as Philly today. The Amtrak station in Philadelphia is the 30th Street Station, and you can change here to most of the other public transport for Philly, and even the New Jersey Transit to Atlantic City if you want to. There's also an easy connection out to Philadelphia Airport and 2 or 3 different public transport systems in Philly. So you don't need a car, you can use public transport the whole way. Please remember to subscribe to my channel and hit like if you appreciate my content. It really helps me out. Thanks.